Welcome back, everyone, to the After Scales podcast, episode 21, presented by DJD Graphics. I'm Jacob Dove from Phenom Motorsports, along with Shaun Blight of Canadian Racing Tours. We have a guest host with Hunter Hensel from Hensel Media. We have a special guest today. He's the driver of the number 24D Wing Sprint car, hailing from Northport, Florida, Danny SAMS III. Danny, thanks for being on our podcast today.
Yeah, happy to be here. Cool to talk to you guys. Got to hang out with him all weekend, and we had a good time. And so I couldn't wait to get back on and talk to you guys.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and start off with Shaun and then obviously Hunter. They were at Eldora. You were competing in the King's Royal. So let's talk about that first.
Yeah, so I was hanging around with Cy Lynch quite a bit throughout the weekend, and Danny was parked just a couple of cars over. And I'd never seen Danny race before, and I just seen him race a couple of times on Flow. And I had heard his story about what his parents have done to kind of put him in racing, and I want to get into that. But I made my way over, introduced myself to Danny. We were chatting, hit it off. He's an awesome guy, very personable, so he wanted to come on, which is awesome. So Danny, tell us about your Eldora experience. I know maybe the results weren't there, but we were talking at the track and definitely gained a lot of experience and learned quite a bit. So just kind of summarize your weekend for us.
Well, yeah, we never had a night that wasn't under 60 cars, I believe. So
yeah,
there alone, we were just a mid-pack car, but the first night we ran top 10. So even though they split the features, it was still a huge accomplishment for us. And then the rest of the week, it was just a little bit of a struggle bus. We weren't slow, but we were a tenth off, and a tenth would have put us in the top 10. So we weren't far out, and that's just that little bit of knowledge that we're working on gaining. But Eldora is such a tricky place. I actually hit the wall really hard the final night, and I was like, man, this is kind of easy. Like, oh, I'm rolling around here good. Bam, hit the wall, like out of nowhere. So just super tough to be fast. You're racing against the best there, and luckily our car's still in one piece. A lot of guys can't say that. I mean, it doesn't look like we're maintenance in it right now, but that's a win in alone. And we learned a lot. Got to talk to a lot of new people. Got to experience it. That was my first King's Royal, so never seen that many people in my life. When they're doing the 4 wide, and everyone's got their flashlights out, and the fireworks are going off, and the gas bombs. It's just you felt American. I don't know. It was a really cool experience. Super cool to just be part of the event and to know we were fast and we out-qualified guys that our team probably shouldn't out-qualify yet, and just learning a lot. We know we have speed, and now we got a little bit more of a notebook when we go back there. I know more what to do. 4 nights in a row definitely helps you, but it also helps everyone. But we're going into the next night a lot less blind. But, yeah, one heck of a track.
Yeah, I felt American, and I'm not. So it was, that was impressive. Go ahead, Hunter.
They even had the plane fly over the track during the national anthem and everything.
Yeah,
that was something I've never seen at a dirt track before. So Shaun was excited to meet you. He said that he started talking to you at Eldora, and I was like, yeah, come on. I saw him Ohio Speed Week. Like that was when I feel like your name kind of got out there more in the sprint car world. Just you had a great Ohio Speed Week, and I mean, you put yourself on the map there a little bit, so you could talk about that if you'd like.
Yeah, Ohio Speed Week is what, we'll probably go back on the whole rest of the year. That's something that'll probably be talked about at PRI show and everything. We went into that week just hoping to make it to the all 9 races because it was 9 days straight, no breaks, nothing. So it's over a week. So it became like a lifestyle, really, really hard. We're going to bed at 3 in the morning, up by 9, working on everything. Super challenging just to do it, and that's not even talking about the racing and who you have to race against. And I don't think we had a field under 35 cars. Most of them are 40s to 50s. We went into that just hoping to make it to all of them. And then we were working on just making features. And at the beginning of the week, it started off extremely rough. Second quick, start first in my heat race, got spun out. Someone ran into me. And then our night's already over because now we're buried in a B main. It's just silly stuff like that. And then the Fremont, quick time overall, and we got a wreck in the heat race right away. So two nights in a row, we didn't even close to coming to the feature. We know we're fast, just no good, like stuff out of your control. and that is part of racing. And so we didn't have a great start, but then we went to Waynesfield and ran fourth, and we knew we were about that good. We knew we were that fast all week. Just finally were able to put it together and running on a rubber racetrack. Able to run pretty good. And Wayne County, we struggled with like a mag issue, working on the engine. Just silly stuff kept happening. We ended up 8th, so not terrible. And then I think Tuesday we headed to Hilltop, and that was a track I had a ton of confidence at. I've been there one time before and won before. And it's real slick, and if you can get it going around the top side, it'll work. But it's very tricky, very challenging to run the top around there. It's like a death slide, we like to call it. You go in the corner, no grip until you get to the wall, and then if you come in too hard, you're going to hit the wall. So, you got to find that balance of going in fast enough, too slow, and go quick time overall. So I was up to two quick times, the entire week so far. We're in night 5. And, ended up, quick time, transferred through the heat, pulled a 3 for the feature, and was able to race with like Greg Wilson, Brock Hallett. Really cool to race with them type of guys, and got our first win. And I didn't have any expectation but to run maybe 1 or 2 top 5s going into that, that whole entire week. That's just really tough competition. You had a lot of great cars that didn't even get a win or, won 1 or so. And so to win that, I came across the line. We were super emotional. There's a video of me running and hugging my mom way too hard, probably. A lot of emotion. That was my biggest win in my career by far then. And so we were like, our week's good. We did it. We did really good. Then we go to Sharon and get our butts absolutely whooped. I was in the back, like qualified almost last, ran almost last in the heat race. It's crazy how you can go from such a high to right back to the bottom. And we had no idea what even happened. So we're going through the engine for Thursday at Muskegum, and we find a problem with one of the lifters. So we change engines, and we go out there, different combination, different way to drive it. There's a lot to this that we never realized until this year as we went full time to learn. Knowledge isn't free, so we've been kind of learning on our own for sure. And go quick time in Muskegum, run second in my heat from 4th, and started second in the feature, and raced really hard for that win. That's a really good highlight for Flo. That was my best racing win, I guess I could say. I lost the lead 2-3 times. To Cale Thomas, we raced really hard, and then every time I got to lap traffic, they're 2-3 wide in front of you. It's super hard to do anything without forcing an issue, and you don't want to wreck in lap traffic. And Cap Henry, we came across the line nose to nose, and the caution came out, and they put him in front of me. And that's where that great video is. I was able to get a great run down him on the backstretch, and when he peeled off, I hammered the top side, and I told myself, it's either sticking or we're going flying off this racetrack, because I wanted to win that race so bad. And that when I won that one, I was like, wow. That was the first repeat winner. It's night 7 now, so we're almost done with the week. And, we've won 2. We knew points were going to be tough because of the 2 we missed already. The 3 actually we missed. And I was like, well, I got my name. I got it going on. We were pumped. But, of course, no partying, anything like that. We still have 2 more nights to go, another 2-hour drive, another, 3 in the morning car wash. It was brutal. But it became almost like a lifestyle. We ate Taco Bell, I think 7 of the 9 nights, because it's the only thing open. And we went to Millstream, ran 6th, just a solid night, nothing special, nothing terrible. And then going into Atomic, I had 3 quick times and 2 wins, and I was like, man, if I can get a quick time tonight, that'll be 4 of 9. That's as close as you can get to 50% without going over. So went out there. And I went out for hot laps, and I thought I felt really good. And I looked up at the scoreboard, and I was like 7th or something. And I couldn't understand why, because I thought I rolled really good around there. Well, it turned out the scoreboard wasn't working. But I remember driving to the pits after hot laps, like, I don't know if I can get any more out of this thing. I said, I just aired it out. And my dad's like, oh, no, you're good. You're quick. I was like, oh, okay. So went out for qualifying, quick time. So I got the 4 of 9. I got banners all around the shop. It's super cool, to have that many of them. And then the heat race, just survival mode. Danny Dietrich was in front of me and Zane. They were racing really hard, and you don't want to get caught up in a mess when all you got to do is run fourth, and you can get in the redraw. And then we had a dash that night because it was 10 grand to win. I was fortunate enough to pull the one. It was a frisbee. And I do have to say I was one of the only guys that could throw the frisbee over the fence. Pretty proud about that. That's that's tough to do. A lot of people struggle with that, so that was fun. And won the dash, pretty good. And then the feature, got a great start, did a wheelie all the way to the line, and then got a good run, and just got to lap traffic, and they're racing in my line across the track, and I was sliding lap cars, and they just drive back by me, and wouldn't, I don't know if they didn't realize I was the leader or what, so had a ton of trouble in lap traffic, and I was like, I can't lose this race. Like, I have it covered, and I finally got around lap cars, and I finally built the gap. I could tell I built the gap. I could see them when I was entering. When I was coming off the corner, they were entering. I knew I finally built the gap. Caution comes out with 4 to go. I was like, you got to be kidding me. This has to be the most perfect restart of my life. And we had a bunch of restarts, but with 4 to go, 10 grand to win, everyone's going to throw everything they have at you. So I went low on every restart, and that restart I went high and caught a great run and rolled away to that win. And that was like, I don't know when to say pressure off my shoulders, but it was almost like a relief. Like, wow. We knew the week was over, and the way to cap it off like that, just absolutely incredible. Mom's crying. Dad's over there, just doesn't know what to do. He's like, I don't know what to do with my hands. Like this, because we just had 3 of the biggest wins of our careers within the 3 wins. It kept, like, each one was a step up and a step up. So, yeah, that definitely, got my name out there more than I ever thought it would have. I've, made contacts with more people than I ever thought would possible. Just super good for my career. We got to show what we can do, and that's something that we used to not be good at slick tracks. I used to be good at just tacky bull rings, but now I'm able to roll around some slick tracks pretty good. So, yeah, that was huge for my career.
Yeah, if you want to learn how to run a slick track, Ohio is not the worst place to do it.
No, Ohio is one of the best. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely had a great Ohio speed week for sure. I wanted to comment, though, just so happened to notice, I wanted our viewers and audience to know, Danny and I are not brothers, but we just so happen to be matching right now. I got my Flow Grown hat with my Victory Fuel shirt on, and he has his Flow Grown shirt on with his...
Wow. I've got that same hat. It's right here on my bag, so... Weird. Yeah, worked out. Yeah, I got these on Speed Week. So I got one in a case, and I wear 2. This is my nice one. My other one's my work one. So I rock them because I'm proud of them. Super cool to have them.
Yeah, definitely a coincidence. But also wanted to mention that Danny's from Northport, Florida, not too far from where I'm originally from, in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Florida. I wanted to talk to Danny about the Florida racing scene, going back a little bit to where he kind of got his start. I watched Danny race at some of our Florida dirt tracks like Hendry County Speedway, East Bay Raceway Park. We got Ocala Speedway, Volusia. We don't have too many dirt tracks down here in Florida, but it's kind of hard to get into the dirt racing scene, especially sprint cars. I feel like you and Connor Morell are kind of the young guns that have kind of made a name in the sprint car racing scene now on the national level. So talk about how difficult it has been to really get your feet wet moving up from the 360 wing sprint car now into 410s and going to events like the Kings Royal and doing Ohio Sprint Week. You've really made a lot of progress, in my opinion.
Yeah, so, we started in 360s, quite a few years ago, but this is only my second full year in a 410. Last year was my first full year. And the setups are incredibly different. The way you drive them is incredibly different. A 360 is a lot about a momentum, and a 410, you can get yourself out of trouble or in trouble really easy. A 360, I feel like the competition has a bigger drop-off. You have a ton of great guys, but then it drops off because it's more of an entry. But, when you go to the Kings Royal, there was 40, 50 guys that have won double digits. It feels like it was near incredible how many people are so good. And there's, it's just a whole nother step. It's, going from, I guess, Truck Series to Cup It's more than just one step. It's two or three, it feels like. But yeah, so me and Connor actually used to be teammates in quarter midgets, so that's what we started doing, and we knew Florida wasn't going to be the scene, even though we love living there, and the weather's always great. But we ended up racing quarter midgets across the country with the USAC National quarter midgets. We raced against Harrison Burton, Todd Gillen, Carson Hocevar, the kids that are in NASCAR now. We got to run against those, and I felt like that built both of us a lot of track savvy. It helped us a ton. Then I branched off into mini sprints that I ran in Florida, and I raced at Bubba's and East Bay and Hendry, and were able to get Rookie of the Year and the championship. So really good, but we knew, and then we won that, and I went to PRI, and no one really knew, even the mini sprint guys. So we were like, Florida just isn't it unless it's February. So we worked on getting a 305. And I was going to race Bloomington, Indiana with the Race Savers, trying to just get in racing country. I was 13 years old, so I got emancipated. I had to go to court. You have to tell the court that you're your own person, your parents don't control. That way I was allowed to race, even though I still live with my parents here. That definitely wasn't the case. I was leaving them or anything. And we ended up, the guy that dynoed at 305, we ran against him in 360s and at Bubba's, and I ran fourth with USCS. So I'm like, we need to be in these 360s. It's just that much faster. It's the next step. And he's like, I'll build you one from parts. So my dad sold everything we had, golf carts, four-wheelers, dirt bikes, whatever, toys, trinkets I had. We sold it. We were getting a 360 engine. And that's how we got going in 360s, and we raced a lot. Me and Connor ended up racing here in Michigan. That's where I met my now car owner, Rocky. And, I got to go run the ASCS National Tour 360s, and I felt like that boosted my game a bunch. It was very aggressive racing. And it was the year of COVID, so I didn't get to run, a full season because a lot of the, country shut down for a long time. We didn't get to race for a while. But that boosted my racing a bunch, and ended up with Rocky the next year. We raced the 360, and then we got a 410 the next year and just started racing, 2 or 3 of those that year. And then as of last year, it was my first full year in a 410. And he's always been the guy, you can't drive a 410 yet. I want to see you win a 360. So he's always had to make us earn the steps. And last year, we didn't go to Kings Royal because we really weren't ready. And now we're finally graduating, from Speed Week and that type of stuff, where we're able to go to these bigger races and, get better. And, you are who you run with, but felt like we've had to earn our way. But yeah, the 410 is way different, way harder to drive. You hit the gas too hard, the front tires are off the ground. It's, they look like animals on the track. They are animals in the car. It's way harder than anyone ever think. And like I said, I was rolling around the top at Eldora, and the thought crossed my mind, I'm doing this pretty easy. And then I smoked the wall out of nowhere. I was like, yeah, these things are so close to out of control. Even when you think it's going good, it's so close to going wrong.
You've mentioned your parents and just how kind of excited and emotional they've been for your success in your early career. I had a bit of a chat with your mom. Talk to us about your parents and kind of the sacrifices that they've made to get you to where you are, because it's a cool story.
So my dad owned a motor shop in Florida, and I was 4 years old, and a guy come in. I was a huge NASCAR fan, loved it, racing. Just didn't have anything. A guy came in getting a part for a quarter midget, and he's like, "Oh, your son should try this." And we went to the track that night, watched, and we bought one the next day because I was so in love. And my dad, he's been my crew chief since I've been 5 years old. We raced across the country together up till now. So he's coming up on 20 years in about 3 years. So he's had 17 years of being my crew chief. We've learned a lot together. But yeah, they've given up everything. Last year we were flying back and forth. I was a full-time machinist, and we felt like our performance just got limited. We'd fly out on a Thursday night, land, race Friday, Saturday, and fly home on a Sunday night, and we're still the ones doing all the work on the car, and we'd show up to the track. We felt unprepared, and we won only 3 times last year, and it felt like our performance just got limited. We could do better. We knew we could if we put more time in it. And Rocky said this year, let's race as much as we possibly can because we want to gear up to go even bigger next year. He said, we want a really good building year. and I talked to my parents about it, and I had a great job going on, and I asked them, like, can I get a leave of absence or something like that? And, I had everything going for me, but I was like, racing's really what I want to do. I want to make it, and I felt like the only way we could make it is if we went, and I would talk to my parents. My mom's like, we'll pray about it, we'll think about it, and Dad said, you know what? Let's give it a full shot. Let's not say we ever half did it. We're going to make memories that will last forever. So around February, after we got through Speed Week in February, with the 410s and 360s, we realized we did really good. Almost won a high limit heat race, fourth at the King of 360s. Just, really good for what we expected. And we're like, maybe we really can do this. And we all decided, and I went to my job the next day, and I told them we're going to take the leap of faith, put it in God's hands, and we're going to go for it this year. And that was probably one of the scariest decisions because it feels like a gamble. What if it doesn't work? What if it does work? You're leaving something that's under control, koozie, just a 9 to 5, making okay money, that whole deal. And my parents have a house and bills, and I'm 22 years old. My vehicle is paid for. All I gotta do is pay my insurance. Let's go. But my parents are like, well, we got a mortgage and this and that. I'm like, yeah, that does sound tough. So we gotta figure out how to sling this. But we talked it through, and we said, let's do it. So it was a scary feeling because I feel like there's pressure on me to succeed because I don't want it to be for nothing. But I know what we're doing is great. And after the first 2 months, we sat back down, we talked about it, and we're like, how's everyone feeling? Trying to keep everyone involved. And we're loving it. We're actually really enjoying life. It's something that we never thought would be this fun, but it's been incredibly fun. And we've done really good. Like Ohio Speed Week was killer. But even before then, we were really moving our way up with the National Series, and we won a couple races already. So it's been a lot of fun, and we never realized we can spend an entire week on this race car. We used to spend half a day getting ready for the next race. We spend the entire week trying to figure out how to make it faster, going through everything, making sure it's perfect. And that's, I felt like, a huge contribution to our performance. But all of our heads are in it. We're all here to make it, and we're getting close. I feel like we're ready to take that next step.
Yeah, so you're racing as much as you can this year. You're taking the full steps. Just at the King's Royal, where are you racing next?
Ironman 55, Peevely. So we're going to another one of the toughest races. It's an awesome event. We got to go to Peevely earlier this year. Made the feature, so that was a big accomplishment of itself. Just to make an outlaw feature when there is 50 cars is hard enough. But we're learning, and I feel like that'll be a track that suits me. It's usually pretty hooked up. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been there, but it's one of the wildest looking places. It feels like a super speedway, but you could throw a rock to the other end of the corner, or from corner to corner. It's so tiny, but like Larson did an 8-second lap around there. Just like,
how would you compare it to Atomic?
I'd say it's smaller and actually wider. It's just more of an even track. The corners, like on the bottom, are much tighter, but it evens out how wide it gets to the top. But yeah, I guess it does have a ton of banking. Just the Atomic is flat than banking. This track's completely banked. But the corners change at Peevely. You'll go out and qualify, and it'll be slick almost. So you go to tighten down the car, and something happens, and the entire track gums up, and cars are flipping over on their own because it gets so rough and fast. It's a track that's just wild. And if we can make the 55-lap main, that's 55 laps. And if you keep yourself from getting laps, I feel like you'll have a good shot at the end of it. So we plan on going to Peevely I-55, and then we're going to go to Knoxville this Sunday for the Capitani Classic. Then we're going to go to the Front Row Challenge at Oskaloosa. Then our prelim night is the next Wednesday at Knoxville. So we want to run the Nationals. We plan on, running as many big races, like I said, but it's going to be a tough week. We're going to have, it's going to be another speed week. We're going to have 2 days off within, a whole 2 weeks. So we're going to be racing a lot here soon. So we're taking this weekend off, just doing everything we can to be as prepared as possible. We're going to try to build another car, get some engines switched, and get a plan for. We want to run different engines at different tracks, and so yeah, right now that is the plan.
So before we get into our rapid fire segment, Shaun, did you want to mention about Danny's merchandise and some of the sponsors to mention about?
Yeah, just QR code. this way, right up next to me. You can scan that, get your Danny SAMS merch. Normally, if we have a guest on that I have merch of, I like to wear it, but after camping at Eldora for 4 days, I got a couple loads of laundry on the go. So that's where that shirt is. But yeah, check out Danny's merch, and I'll let you plug anything else that you want to plug, Danny.
Well, I appreciate it. So all of our t-shirt sales go directly to us. Whatever the car is making on the racetrack goes right back into it to try to build our program. So to keep me and my parents on the road, so every t-shirt order helps a ton and keeps us going. I have an awesome thing called Dirt Crowd. Here, let me get a hero card. It's a pretty cool deal. I don't know if you could scan it through here or not, but it's something where you can get your name on my race car for a fee a month. For $100 a month, you can have your name put on my race car. It's something that's really cool for people that want to be part of the team but don't know how. And there's 3 different levels. There's, a $24 level, a $50 level, and a $100 level, and it helps. Goes directly to my family, and it helps us tremendously stay on the road. I send you videos of where your money's going. Like, I had to get new gloves the other day, so I'll send you videos of that. And once a month, I send you something random. So all my members got something from the car that when we won 10 grand at Atomic, I got to send everything to all my members, something cool and personalized letters and engine parts and just, random merchandise pieces too. As I build my merchandise program, I'll send you something random a month. It's all explained on dirtcrowd.com, but it's something really cool for people that want to be involved, don't know how, and, aren't a corporate sponsor. So it's some way for someone to get on the car and feel like they're really involved.
Well, Danny,
the wheels turning in Jacob's head right now.
yeah, I think might have to get my credit card information.
Yeah, and I'll send a video of what I do, and if I put your name on the car, I'll send you a video of that. And it's actually at a pretty good spot. It's on the back of the wing where everyone can actually see it from the pits and on track. It's actually a pretty sick deal.
All right, so we're going to head to our rapid fire segment with Danny SAMS III here. Danny, every episode we like to have 10 rapid fire questions to kind of get to know you a bit better and our audience. Danny, are you ready to go?
I'm ready when you are.
All right, so the first question is, what is your favorite racetrack?
Atomic. Atomic is it got my favorite now. It's a track I've always struggled at tremendously, and I was finally able to figure it out and turn it around. But yeah, I'd say Atomic right now is my favorite.
And we kind of talked about this earlier in the show, but what moment did you feel like you made it in National 410 sprint car racing?
It would definitely be Speed Week. That's when I felt like I clicked that next check box on the list. Speed Week definitely felt like it put my name out there enough, and it got the wheels turning in a lot of people's heads on trying to get me going further and higher. It's something that will help me tremendously going into next year.
And if you could race a sprint car anymore, which race car would you be behind the wheel in?
Wow, I don't know. Dirt late models are still pretty cool. I know there's a huge separation between the two, but I guess that's the next pinnacle of dirt. I love dirt. I love dirt racing. I feel like it's the fastest growing sport in the country right now for the motorsport side of things. So I guess a super late model on dirt would be my next go-to.
And even though you spend a lot of time now at your shop in Indiana, but what is your favorite thing to do in Northport, Florida?
Fishing. I got a John boat. I go up the river. I go as far as I can up the Mayaca River, and I'll go catch anything from tarpon to catfish. It's something I love to do. Fishing is definitely one of my go-tos. And I like going riding four-wheelers with my friends. We like the mud. We have big snorkels on our four-wheelers. We drive them through way too deep of water, and that's something I really enjoy doing with my friends.
Yeah, I figured that was going to be your response for that question. So the next question is, what is your favorite fish to catch?
My favorite fish to catch?
Yeah.
Tarpon, if we can go catch 30-pound tarpon, the ones that are about this big, up a river, where not many people know they exist, it's a ton of fun. But going out and catching big tarpon in the Boca Grande Pass is, known for how great of fishing it has. That's probably the most fun you could possibly have.
Who is your favorite music artist or group right now?
I'm on a rock pitch right now. I've been listening to way too much Green Day, but I like this country quite a bit. I've been listening to a lot of Trio's Revival, some new stuff. So that'd probably be my two as of now.
And then, what is your biggest pet peeve when you're driving your street vehicle on the road?
It's speeding up and slowing down. I don't care. I just put my cruise on wherever I go. If I'm pulling the truck and trailer, if I'm by myself, you pass someone with your cruise on, then they speed back past you, and then you pass them again with your cruise on. Just go the same speed because it make you get back over. It's always people on their phones that are doing it. They're going from 60 mile an hour to 80, 60 to 80. So just take 70 and you'll get there at the same time. So that's my biggest pet peeve.
And definitely in Florida is one of the biggest struggles with that. But so, how do you get ready and prepare for a race? Do you have any pre-race rituals?
Me and my mom pray before I go out every time, and me and my dad have a handshake we do. But that's like when I'm in the car. But before the night, me and my mom split a Hershey chocolate bar, and that's our good luck thing. We get a Hershey bar from whatever our last gas station stop is, and we split it before the night starts, and that's our a good luck thing. But we do like to pray before I go out every time.
And your nickname currently is D3. I had an idea about a nickname as the Northport Nightmare, and conjoined with Jimmy Owens as the Newport Nightmare. But explain your nickname and why you chose the number 24.
So I'm Danny Sands the third. My dad's junior, my grandpa's senior. So every time we're at a family function, you say Danny, we're all like, huh? so they've always called me D3, Danny the third. Just felt like it works. It's just how we started it when I was young, and I'm just kind of rocked it. But I was able to pick up a new nickname during Speed Week called the High Side Hustler. So I'm working on some new T-shirts for that. One of my races right against the fence. So it was another cool, exciting thing I was able to do. That was something really cool. So I've been rocking that one a little bit. But yeah, we are in search of some nicknames. I have a new shirt coming out next week called the Floridian, just because I'm from Florida. I've been working on some nicknames for sure, but that's where the D3 came from, and Danny Sands is third. So Dad's junior, Grandpa senior. It just makes it easy when we're at the house. And I picked 24 because before I even got into racing, Jeff Gordon was my favorite. He just I liked him a lot. I had no good reason. I just liked the DuPont car, and that was I just rolled with it. And he ended up building hospitals later on and helping a lot of people, and he just always has been my number one driver. Now he's showing me the business side of that he can do in NASCAR. And he's someone I've always followed and looked up to. And I put 24 on my quarter midgets, and it just stuck. I've never gone away from it. So that's my reason.
And last question: by the end of your racing career, what do you want race fans to remember about you the most?
I'd say the excitement, my story. I feel like my story would be, if we do get to make it, we do end up making a career out of this. I feel like it's a story that everyone can remember, and it's something that someone could go like, if he was able to do it, I can do it. It makes you think that you can do anything, because we have been stacked against the odds for sure, but if we do get to make it, I want everyone to remember our story, because I want someone else to take that chance and go for their dreams.
Well, we really appreciate your time on this podcast, Danny. I'm sure Shaun and Hunter had fun all talking about your racing career, and we're excited to see where you're heading moving forward. I'm sure make sure to keep an eye out on that 24D car. Make sure to go to shopd3.com to buy some Danny Sands III merch. And thanks, Danny, for being on our podcast today.
Really appreciate it. Had a lot of fun. I like the video concept too. It makes it more fun.
Yeah, and just before we let you go, I just wanted to mention that Hunter and I did notice, because we were hanging around the track pretty late, that Danny, you were the last one still signing autographs. You still had your car out. People were still coming up to you. That was really cool. So, people definitely take notice of that kind of stuff. So hopefully if you see him race, go up and say hi at the track. Buy a shirt, because Danny's an awesome guy, and we wish him all the best.
I appreciate it. Yeah, if someone has time for me, I always want to make time for them. I want to make sure everyone feels included and they can have the best time they possibly can have. So I'm glad you guys noticed that. Yeah, that's the reason why we do it. You know, if we can spend some more time, we will, and build our fans one by one. And I want to make sure everyone feels like they're involved.
And make sure you guys like and subscribe to the After the Scales podcast YouTube channel and stay up to date with all our social medias. And we'll see everyone on the next episode.
After the Scales is proudly presented by DJD Graphics. From commercial and personal vehicles to racing bikes and cars of all makes, models, and disciplines, DJD Graphics can fully customize your vehicle to suit your needs. For more information, contact Darren and visit his website at www.djdgraphics.com. Tell him Shaun and Jacob sent you to receive special rates.